CyberTrak contains 5 key features right now that we think will be very important for companies that are assessing how to deploy security solutions globally. Okay. The first is what security requirements or security standards are imposed by laws or regulations. We're going to augment that in the next release of CyberTrak, which we expect to be in the winter, with actual mapping to information security standards that are used in different countries around the world. We think that'll be very powerful and useful for CISOs and chief information officers to help guide their purchasing decisions. The second aspect is actual restrictions on use of security technologies. There are countries like Russia and China that don't allow use of unlicensed encryption products in their countries. And so when one considers how to deploy security defenses in those countries, these are major considerations that companies need to be aware of. A third category is restrictions on use of monitoring technologies. A key way to detect the inevitable intrusions from hacking attacks is to monitor traffic that's flowing out of a corporate network. And there are a number of countries like Germany that have very strong privacy rules that create restrictions on deployment of those technologies. So what we're doing is to map all these both security requirements and obstacles to security. And then finally, an additional category that's very relevant is obligations to report security incidents, both security breaches of personal data, which in the United States have long been a feature of information security law, but that are coming online in many countries around the world. And in addition, requirements if you're in a critical infrastructure sector, for example, like power or financial services, to report security incidents to regulators in your country. And we think this combination of tools will be very useful. It will be updated every 4 months, roughly, and will provide a way for companies to map their requirements around the world and also the obstacles to deploying security solutions. So we're very excited about it after talking to the board of our partner organization in this, the Internet Security Alliance, which is comprised of CIOs and CISOs of 18 major multinationals. We learned that there really is no service of this kind available today, and we think it will really meet an important market need, not only for CISOs and chief information officers, but for GC's offices, for compliance offices, and for risk offices in multinationals and domestic companies around the world.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. And the final question about that for me is, are there specific types of companies and specific industries that you think can benefit most from this software, such as highly regulated industries? What can you tell us about that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, highly regulated industries in the healthcare sector, financial services sector, those tend to be the most regulated around the world. This is a tool that will be very, very useful to them. It's also very useful to companies that simply hold customer data for which they might have some sort of security breach obligation or be fined if they had inadequate security. And it's very useful to internet security companies to help them to make the case for deployment of their security solutions, not only in the United States, but around the world. And more generally, cybersecurity is just a growing threat to companies across business sectors, and being aware of these requirements, which are changing rapidly, is almost as important as being aware of the evolving security threats. If you could potentially be fined, or if you've made a commitment in contracts with a potential customer to meet a standard of care or the applicable security requirements in the countries in which your technology is being deployed, you need to be up on what those requirements are and be sure that you're compliant.
Okay, great. Well, again, that was Jim Halpert of DLA Piper. Jim,
thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.